son. Where'd you find this?
Do it! Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
A few moments later.
You are now listening to Podcast 42, the world's most popular, inaccurate, and sometimes squirreled retelling of pop culture history.
I get in trouble for never watching the Goofy movie.
I love the Goofy movie.
Wow, Chris, you're about to lose points against Nicole now.
I watched that movie all the time growing up.
That's
and
a great movie.
I want a Powerline tour shirt.
I think I've only ever seen it once.
You need to watch it. It's so good. Powerline is amazing.
Hey, by the way, this isn't important, is it?
No, it's not. And on that note, it is time for Podcast 42. I'm Christopher DeVos.
I'm Nicole Fasone.
I'm JL Tros. And I'm Faraz. Hey!
Hey, still on the quest for the last name.
That's okay.
One day.
That important?
You know what? Maybe Faraz should go to the guy in the Solo movie and have him get his name from that guy because he's so good at giving names to people.
Or Palpatine could give a name, too.
Palpatine? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. You pointed that out earlier.
Did I tell you guys my mom asked if Roz was finally going to get a last name once he got his citizenship? Because he doesn't have to say A anymore.
Oh, good point.
This is my first episode as an American.
Nice!
Yay!
Wait a minute, you weren't American?
No. We talked about it last time, I felt like.
Yes,
the last episode.
I thought you were taking care of that earlier than what you did.
No. I felt like America was going to course correct itself. Now I feel like my vote might actually matter.
You know what that means for us? You know what that means? I think I'm going to crack open the beer cooler.
Yes, I was going to ask you to.
Yes, we need it.
JL's beer cooler. It's cooler than you think. JL's beer cooler. It's cool enough to drink. It's cool enough to drink. Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited because I think last time you brought a Southern Tier, it rated very well. I can't remember, but it seems like the name is stuck out.
They have. The few that I've purchased of theirs has done very well.
What did you bring this time?
I brought 8 days a week blonde ale.
8 days a week.
I like the look of the clan. The clan.
Oh my God!
I'm American already.
Wait a minute.
He's wearing a white shirt, too. What's happening?
It's really nice to know that you joined an organization since you become Americanized.
Here's your citizenship. What clubs would you like to join?
I choose the Klan. Wow, for us, this has escalated quickly.
I will say I went to the thing with him, and they were very adamant. Sign up for voting. Sign up for voting right now. Please see us outside and sign up to vote.
So you like the can?
I like the look of the can. The can. It has a very minimalist yet elite look to it that I enjoy.
See, I disagree.
And the same thing has been said about the Klan.
Minimalist yet elitist.
I give the can a 2. I don't like it.
It says infinitely drinkable.
I like the infinity thing there with the hops and the barley and all that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
yeah.
And the Jewish star. See, they don't have that in the Klan.
What? Where?
It's at the
Star of
bottom
David.
of the logo.
How do you know they don't have? They have that in the Klan. It's just usually on fire.
Wow, this is all taking such a dark turn.
That's what happens on the 8th day of the week.
So stay tuned to the end of the episode to get our ratings on that.
This is what happens when we have 2 beers before we start recording.
Shh, giving away secrets. But this week,
3.
even though nobody asked for it, we're going back. We're going back.
You know you want, but you didn't ask for.
It's like the Han Solo movie. You didn't ask for it, but we're doing it anyway. No, I'm just joking.
What were you saying?
The Console Wars Part 2!
What's it called?
It's Console Wars Episode 2, Nintendo Strikes back.
Nobody
wonder-
could see this, but I'm totally doing it like it's like the Star Wars movie where the
Like
words
the
are
crawl.
you have
Jail.
to read
Yeah.
everything.
So get out your notepads because we're going to start
Nintendo
off with
Strikes
the
Back.
pop quiz.
I can't wait for episode 3, Return of the Wii.
Oh, that was so smart, JL. I liked it.
Very nice.
I like it. Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh no! What?
What?
Oh no!
I printed the wrong
You printed the quiz from the last
pop
episode?
quiz. Yep.
Oh boy!
Idiot.
Hold on.
Well, anyway,
Hold
it was
on,
a
hold
good
on.
thing we were talking about
Okay, keep going.
the Kingdom Hearts, considering that we were talking about console wars. What did Kingdom Hearts originally come out on?
It was a Sony exclusive.
Okay, and
Yeah,
what
it was
is
just for PlayStation.
and
Yeah.
what is the news that we found out recently? As recently
Square
as today?
Enix is releasing Kingdom Hearts 3 for all consoles, except for the Switch, maybe.
Which is interesting because I feel like Disney would be so Nintendo.
Yeah, they've been a lot of... Disney's been pretty... well, they had Epic Mickey
I
for the
think they're
Wii.
bitter.
Why?
Because Universal Studios Orlando is putting in that
Nintendo
World. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair.
So Disney might have a little bitterness there that they're only going to put it out on one thing for them.
All right, that makes sense.
All right, I
Did
got
we
the
pass
right.
enough time?
I got the right pop quiz. Everybody
Super.
got their notebooks.
Ready?
This pop quiz is called RPG. Is how a one-syllable gangster will ask another gangster if they're currently urinating, or RPG is how a one-syllable gangster will ask another gangster if they are currently urinating. RPG.
You may have to explain that one, Chris.
RPG. Okay, it's a visual.
I really wish we took a picture of Nicole's face right
don't get it. I
there.
don't
Because
get
the
it.
clueless look is just phenomenal. She's
I
like,
don't get it.
It'll sink in after a while. It's a stretch, but it'll sink in. Or the name of Wario's art supply store would be World of Wario Crafts.
I like that. And I really think that should be a craft store.
I would go there.
I would too. I'm
This
not crafty,
is-
but I would go.
Crafty now. This is 5 general knowledge facts on the Console Wars Episode 1 script.
Oh boy.
In order of the easiest to the hardest to test your knowledge. Score 1 point for each correct answer. JL, you were getting excited, and now you're not.
Yeah.
This is how well you remember what we talked about, part 1.
We're still talking about...
I'm in so
this
much
is still
trouble.
the original quiz?
This pop quiz is about the original
He wants to
script.
Oh!
Faraz,
Yes.
you want to see how well we paid attention last episode when we did this.
If
Why
you
would you
get
do
any of
this?
these wrong, Faraz, you're going to have to hang your head in shame. All right,
The rest
question
of us,
1.
Nicole and I are safe because, we usually tune it out.
Question 1. What is the name of the kingdom that the consoles are fighting over? Remember, this is the easiest.
The answer's in front of me. I'm so excited. I'm all down.
Thank you, JL, for that hint.
Question 2. What does SNES stand for? Question number 3. At the end of the script, what video game company lost the throne? They were on top of the throne for the entire script, and at the very end, gone. Question number 4. How many generations of video gaming consoles were covered? The number of generations that we covered. Now remember, the script was 17 and a half hours long, so...
It really felt that long.
And question number... Oh, you need more time for us?
Quit cheating! I know you're looking at
I'm
past
not.
scripts.
I'm talking to
I'm
my
good.
friend about
Okay.
the Instant Pot.
You wrote 99% of the script. Question number 5. How many... This is the hardest one. How many exclamation points were used in the script? Hint. The script was written by Faraz. You can... you get a point if you get it within 10. How many exclamation points were used in the script?
I don't know how many I use.
The script was written by Faraz. All right, pencils down.
Pens.
Question number 1. What is the name of the kingdom that the consoles are fighting over, Nicole?
Gametopia.
JL.
Gametopia.
Faraz?
Gametopia.
Gametopia. Question
All
number
right.
2. What does SNES stand for? JL?
Super Nintendo.
Nicole?
I said Super NES, and I guessed that NES stood for Nintendo Entertainment System.
Faraz, what is the correct answer?
What are you saying that our answers are not correct?
I didn't say that.
It's a means by which JL and Chris can make fun of me.
That's correct.
I think Faraz should get a bonus point.
You get a
for that.
bonus point. Or Super Nintendo Entertainment System was also correct.
I was right. Yes.
At the end of the script, what video gaming company lost the throne? Nicole.
PlayStation?
JL.
Nintendo?
Faraz, what is the correct answer?
Nintendo. How would PlayStation lose? They just...
I think maybe that's coming up.
They weren't even around.
Yes, PlayStation is just getting ready to try and take over the throne.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's what
I
I thought.
was starting to write Nintendo, and I was like, well, no, but
We barely talked about PlayStation.
oh,
I know, you were barely awake, but we barely talked about PlayStation. Question number 5. How many generations of video gaming consoles were covered, JL?
4.
Nicole.
2.
2. Faraz.
2 and 17 pages. I put 5, but I don't know.
5.
Oh.
We left off at Generation 5.
That was my original thought, too, and I went with 4.
You were close.
Yeah.
It was more than 2.
I knew that.
How many exclamation points were used in the script? Nicole.
81.
That's a good guess. JL.
69.
That's also a good guess.
Good, better guess than mine.
Faraz.
I have 15.
That's a bad guess. 48. 48 exclamation points.
So is it closest without going
You
over?
counted the exclamation points?
All
I had a lot
right,
of free time. And all he said was, shit, another exclamation point?
let us go back into Gametopia and find out part 2 of what happens of people who have been waiting for this forever.
All 4 weeks.
Console Wars, Episode 2, Nintendo Strikes Back.
Written by Faraz, gay for.
No!
It's not how you say his last name.
Who's gay for?
He's never actually told me, so I'm just going to mispronounce it as many times as I can.
Until he tells you finally.
Yes!
It's a good strategy.
Does your Facebook pronounce it?
I don't... What? How would I...
You can
Facebook pronounce his names?
Yeah, you can set it. Yes, you didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
You can set up Facebook to pronounce your name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That seems invasive of Facebook.
Well, you said it. You give it the syllables to
You
say.
suck, Faraz. Facebook doesn't even tell me how to say your name.
Yes. When last we left the kingdom of Gametopia, the throne had been usurped. Is it usurped or usurped?
It's usurped. Usurped. Mr. English major.
Oh, God.
It's
I feel like
usurped.
English major.
You were.
A waste of a degree.
You don't even know how to read it.
With this sentence, I feel like there should be a graphic of like a desert and like dead games everywhere.
Like the start,
There's like this
like the
whole
start
thing, like the
of
camera
Empire
panning
Strikes
over.
Back?
Yeah, like
No, you get the camera panning over the whole battlefield, and there's like all these games and consoles just like lying
Yes.
in this heap of rubble, and there's
Faraz.
taking over
Sony.
just like it's like taking over.
One cartridge has a sword in it. It's bleeding.
A shield.
When last we left the kingdom of Gametopia, the throne had been usurped by King
Sega
Nintendo's
Saturn's a bard.
usurped by King Nintendo's trusted ally, Sony, and its legion of PlayStations. Nintendo responded with the Nintendo 64, clinging desperately to cartridge technology in the rising era of CDs. Though the N64... What?
Nothing. Go back and read that sentence. I messed you up. Clinging desperately. Start from there.
Now I have to look again. Oh my god. Nintendo responded with the Nintendo 64, clinging desperately to cartridge technology in the rising era of CDs.
Nuts.
Stop it. What are you doing? Though the N64 was armed with legendary titles like Mario 64,
Super Mario 64. Just saying.
revolutionary for 3D platformers, Star Fox 64, which would be known as the best Star Fox title ever released,
Never heard
and
of it.
The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time which would go on to be praised as Game of the Century.
Yeah, because Zelda's awesome with, his sword and shield and
Jesus
everything.
Christ.
You almost said that
That's
like
Link.
Cartman.
Hey, guys.
The heroes of Nintendo's army were not enough to seize back the coveted D-pad throne.
Coveted.
That sounds horrible, D-pad throne.
That
That sounds like something a woman would need.
Can you do me a favor when we post this episode? Could you do one of those cheesy romance novel covers for our Facebook group?
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Rival Sega, investing in new technology with its Saturn and Dreamcast devices, faced similar defeat in the face of Sony's unexpected might. The Dreamcast, a console notably ahead of its time and the first to include a modem and online gaming network, could not attract support of developer allies like Electronic Arts, who instead joined their banners with Sony.
Who wants Electronic Arts on their team? They're bastards, man.
They are, but they also have like tons of pull in the industry.
They're the Walmart of gaming.
Pretty much, yeah.
I found the image we
Ow.
need to use.
Wow.
Am I not wrong?
No, but you're not wrong, but I never really drew that comparison before until now.
Yeah.
Though Sega heralded the sixth generation of home
English
console.
major.
Wrote this thing.
Though Sega heralded
Did.
the sixth generation of home consoles with the Dreamcast, the sun had set for the House of Sonic. Nintendo would limp on with the GameCube, but could not match the absolute might of what was destined to become the best-selling console of all time, the PlayStation 2. Yet Sony's success in the arena invited the interest of another electronic giant.
There once was a house in New Orleans.
I just sent you the
It's
image.
called the House of Sonic.
Are you continuing or not?
No, I was singing.
I thought he was doing
This is awesome, and this is what we're going to use when we promote this episode. I'm just throwing that out
Okay.
there.
It was the late 1990s when software became when software giant Microsoft saw the danger of letting Sony go unchallenged with its imminent PlayStation 2 in the kingdom of Gametopia.
I'm so glad all of us can read tonight.
No. So maybe we shouldn't do a live show at a time. Sony had all but crushed Nintendo in the battle for the throne and had won over former allies of the old king. Fearing that Sony's rising strength could threaten the stability of the PC gaming area, Microsoft assembled a team of DirectX developers to build a Windows video game console using PC components and DirectX graphics technology. And they called it the House of Sonic. The valiant team of 4 engineers, known simply as the DirectX team,
Wow, that took a lot.
Yeah.
was led by Otto Berkes. Otto Berkes? That's really his name?
Well,
Otto-
that's JL, like, how to pronounce it.
I like
Burkus?
it. Otto's Berkeys.
Otto's
I say
Berkes.
Burkus.
I would have said Burks, but I like Berkeys more.
Otto's Berkes sounds like he would develop underwear. The DirectX technology and their arsenal referred, of course, to the legion of application programming interfaces pertaining to multimedia purposes, including video, music, and games. This reads like a game manual, like a manual on how to build a computer.
It sounds like it was written by a robot.
The assembled squad created a prototype Windows console that impressed the head of Microsoft's video gaming publishing department. This DirectX team initially pitched their console as the DirectX Box, named after the Windows multimedia suite powering it.
Page
Always
turn
me
for
with
Chris.
the page turn.
I tried to avoid it, but there was no way to avoid it.
I think she does it on purpose.
I did not do it on purpose.
It's on purpose.
After gathering the support of Microsoft's video gaming department, the DirectX team decided to call their console the PlayStation.
No!
No, I read that wrong. The Xbox.
The Xbox.
Which personally,
The X in the box.
I do like the Xbox, even though the PlayStation is superior in a lot of ways, but I do prefer the
PlayStation
Xbox.
is superior.
It is. I agree, but somehow the Xbox still wins my heart.
Okay, while I'm reading, you should check out the image that I sent.
I'll check it
in.
out.
I did.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's pretty good.
It's not a romance novel like I wanted.
Well, they could. Those are harder to find. While the video game department liked the idea, Microsoft's marketing department did not. Focus groups were organized for the marketers to try and prove to the engineers that the Xbox name would never sell. Unfortunately for the marketers, Xbox struck a popular chord with people.
Ding.
It was enigmatic and unquestionably reasonable. Unquestionably original.
It was reasonable.
It was reasonable.
It was reasonable that would have worked.
And it was original. Thus did the Xbox begin its official journey into the grim battlefield that had become of the once
Halcyon
realm of... What word is that?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means peaceful, idyllic.
So why couldn't you say once
Utopia-like.
peaceful? Who's gonna... Oh, gosh.
No one says Halcyon.
We just did, several times.
Began its official journey into the grim battlefield that had become of the once peaceful realm of Gametopia.
Hey, Nicole, you went to the park the other day. How was it?
Which park?
It was Halcyon.
It was Halcyon.
I
It
set
was
you
higher
up.
than Halcyon.
It wasn't very crowded. It was very Halcyon.
Microsoft was not a complete stranger to the kingdom. Like Sony had assisted Nintendo with the SNES, so did Microsoft.
Wait, hold on. No one's going to correct her on that? No one's going to say SNES to her?
Yes.
It's not SNES.
It is
Who-
SNES. I
who
actually
calls
looked it up,
SNES?
and Wikipedia said that it's
Oh
pronounced
my
SNES.
god!
Everybody
and you trust
calls it SNES.
Wikipedia?
It's pronounced Wikipedia, not Wikipedia. You're pronouncing things on the
They
wrong
call
syllable.
it WikiLeaks.
Yeah, that's
So-
a different site.
It's
Yeah,
it's not the same.
WikiLeaks is very chaotic. Wikipedia is very Halcyon.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, recording a live show is fun. Like Sony had assisted with Nintendo with the SNES, so did Microsoft assist Sega with the architecture of the avant-garde Dreamcast. The year 2001, however, would mark Microsoft's official entry into the console arena and would be the first time an American company dared enter the vicious console wars since Atari's last defeat in
How
1996.
Dare you?
How dare they? To make its debut,
They were probably clan members.
Oh, God.
To make its debut into the foray as grand as possible, Microsoft was determined to focus on a rising niche in the market. Though Nintendo's N64 was defeated by Sony's...
Isn't that niche?
Yeah, that's a niche.
Is that niche?
I've always pronounced it niche, but I don't know. Clearly, I'm not pronouncing things correctly today, other than
That's
Halcyon.
niche.
Nicole's just being fancy. Go ahead.
The niche.
The Nietzsche.
Though Nintendo's N64 was defeated by Sony's PlayStation in the last console war, the N64 had surprised combatants and onlookers alike with the unexpected popularity of GoldenEye 007, a rare successful first-person shooter on a console. Microsoft purchased game developer Bungie and had the studio work on an Xbox launch title.
Just so people know, it's not Bungie with a question mark.
Well, it could have been Bungie. It could have been.
I don't even know where we are.
The Xbox debuted with the iconic game Halo Combat Evolved.
Awesome game.
Surprising
Never
the
heard of
kingdom of Gametopia not only with the raw PC-like power of this new video game console, but the rich brilliance of this quintessential FPS. That stands for first-person shooter.
I thought it was
In case-
SPF.
That was really good. I'm impressed, Nicole. Good job.
Thank you.
She played GoldenEye before she came today. That's the only reason she knows.
Though having entered the battle after Sony's PlayStation 2 and Nintendo's GameCube, Microsoft's Xbox insatiably mounted the sales figures, rising to second in North America, getting behind only the unconquerable PlayStation 2.
Faraz, do you when you
What are
write
these
this, do you specifically put in all this sexual tension into the script? Insatiably mounted the sales figures.
Unconquerable?
You said they humped the sales
He
figures.
has a lot of tension, okay?
I don't know why.
I get all hot and bothered and horny
Bob.
after reading these scripts on the game stuff, and I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be this sweating and tearing at my clothing like I do.
Can I just say, Faraz, I'm never going to ever say this again, but after reading this, I'm a little hot and bothered.
Dale's fanning himself.
Woo! I can't wait to see what unpronounceable words you threw in my sentences here.
I mean, they should not have this much sexual tension talking about games.
That's fine. So let's quit playing games and let's go back to the script.
Games with my heart.
We're not there yet. So, despite its relative success in the face of its late start, Microsoft was not content. The PlayStation 2 and the GameCube were arguably each other's graphical equals in terms of power, though the PS2 featured DVD playback for movies and the GameCube was lame and did not.
No, it had really small discs.
That's right. Whereas the Xbox was graphically superior to both. No, it wasn't. And played DVDs. Only similarity.
No, I think the Xbox was.
The Xbox is more
superior
powerful than
to,
the
I don't think the
PS2.
graphics were as good, though.
to the 2, yeah. Not to the 3 or 4, but to
No,
the 2.
no.
The
The
original
three-
Xbox was definitely more powerful than the PS2.
I'm just saying, I think the graphics always have been better on PlayStation than... That's, like, been their one thing. Their graphics have been better, even though there are certain games and stories on the Xbox that are better than PS. So, that's just me.
Like the Strawberry Shortcake video game was
Yes,
better
that
on
was
the Xbox.
phenomenal. The Rainbow Bright game was awesome, too.
I couldn't get through the first level.
Nope. The Xbox was also the first console to feature a hard drive instead of... Seriously? After all the sexual tension, you got to throw in the hard drive? So, to feature a hard drive instead of requiring the use of memory cards. But that wasn't enough for Microsoft. No, it's never enough. This new contender was determined to bring something truly new, truly revolutionary to Gametopia.
What could that be?
In 2002, oh so long ago, the Xbox went online with Xbox Live. A fee-based internet service with support already built into Xbox consoles, akin to the previous generation's Sega Dreamcast. But, whereas the Dreamcast was designed for dial-up connections, oh, poor Dreamcast. By the time you connected, you didn't want to play.
That was my impersonation of dial-up.
I love it, because nobody's going to get it except for those of us here.
Those old people.
Those old people. Xbox Live would deal only with high-speed broadband, fulfilling the revolutionary ideals of the Dreamcast. Xbox Live allowed gamers to download new content from game developers and allowed them to play with other gamers over the internet. While the PlayStation 2 would go on to become the best-selling console of all time, the Xbox and Xbox Live were actually shaping the future of an entire industry, and Sony, but also Nintendo, would eventually find themselves struggling to keep up.
And Nintendo is still struggling to keep up.
Yeah.
That's what's really weird. I don't understand. The Switch is brilliant. Brilliant gaming system, but there's still hardly any
They
internet.
don't market it very well either. Like, you don't see ads for it and a lot of things. I mean,
The problem is they, like we talked about in the first episode, they were really rude and mean to all their third-party game developers.
Yeah.
So all those third-party developers decided to jump ship.
Even
when
Netflix?
What do you mean? It doesn't have Netflix on the Switch?
There's no Netflix on the Switch.
that would help out the Switch.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no, you can't get any internet type thing on the Switch.
I think that's a Nintendo choice then, isn't it? Because Netflix isn't a
They
third-party
said it's
developer.
coming. That's all they said. They said it's coming.
That's like a Nintendo programmer issue. I don't think that has anything to do with Netflix.
But they did that with the Wii too. The Wii didn't have internet support for a long time.
I definitely feel like that's just Nintendo. But the lack of games and advertising is because like Electronic Arts and so forth weren't developing for them.
Yeah, I don't even.
I
I don't,
get that.
I don't even know if Nintendo needs really. All Nintendo needs to do is say we're releasing a new console. I don't think they need a lot of.
If you remember in episode
Marketing.
1, when Nintendo was sitting on the D-pad throne as the king of
Stop
Gametopia,
saying that.
you yourself
I feel dirty every time you say D-pad
commented
throw.
You never complained about his D-pad before.
on the fact.
Shh, no one's supposed to know that. Now our secret's out for Oz.
Don't worry, I took the memory card out. Nobody knows.
You commented on the fact that Nintendo is a greedy dick to all their third developer add-ons. Yeah, so this is why they struggle now. Because all those game developers remember everything that Nintendo did.
Think about it. You know, you play the Zelda games only on the Wii, right? When you were playing the Breath of the Wild, was that on
I played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U.
Okay. So there are only a few games that you see consistently released throughout the Nintendo world. The Mario games.
The what game?
The Mario games.
Oh
Mario.
my God.
The Zelda games.
Tetris.
What else do you really see?
Donkey
you see
Kong.
a lot of independent single game ones coming out on the Nintendo platforms. Meanwhile, on Xbox and PlayStation, you see a lot of games coming out with newer versions every couple of years because the developers want to be with those consoles. And they're
It's
just
not like we have a whole script that talks about that in front of us.
Well,
I was trying to help your argument, okay?
By 2004, numerous award-winning phenomenal titles were now released as Xbox exclusives.
didn't we just talk about this a second ago?
Think! Get this, you ready? Thanks in large part to Microsoft's courting of third-party developers and the acquisition of longtime Nintendo ally Rare,
I feel like we're just rehashing what we just talked about.
which was known for developing games like
But
Killer
there's so
Instinct,
much more sexual tension when he reads it.
Star Fox, and Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, those coconuts.
Canadian software developer BioWare pleasured the
I missed the first
industry.
game. What was the first game?
Killer Instinct?
Yeah, they needed that. Nintendo needs that right now.
Notice how he peppered in Canadian.
Canadian
Definitely.
software developer BioWare pleasured the industry with waves of ecstasy
Seriously.
generated by its Star Wars RPG, which, if you don't know, is role-playing game. Knights.
Which I feel like you do daily.
What's MMORPG?
I don't want to get into that stuff.
Madam
right now,
Maid.
okay? I have a whole thing here.
That's a multimedia online role-playing game.
Yes.
If I can continue,
Yes, hold on. Let me
Yes.
take my shirt off.
where was I? BioWare pleasured the industry with waves.
again.
Wait, did you just say BioWare pleasured the industry?
Yes.
It's like the third time now. BioWare pleasured the industry with waves of ecstasy generated by its Star Wars RPG, Knights of the Old Republic.
I feel like we're reading a Trojan condom ad right now and not video game ad.
Whoa.
It's like a 50 Shades of Grey for consoles.
I know. Hold on. I gotta take my pants off. Keep going.
Hold on. This video game nerd porn's getting to me.
Previously known,
Let me situate my joystick right here.
previously known for its intricately woven PC RPGs in the Forgotten Realms universe. BioWare's
up, down.
Knights of the Old Republic was a declaration that endearing console RPGs were no longer the exclusive dominion of Japanese developers. Former British developer Lionhead Studios also debuted the beautifully crafted Fable series with music composed by the legendary Danny Elfman.
I didn't know.
Elfman. Oh my god.
Who? What did he ever do?
Fable. He did the music for Fable.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
Oh, the guy.
You didn't know?
Oh, the guy from Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Then came
Dead Man's
Halo
Party.
2.
should give him a high five. He did a pretty good job for that.
do it really well.
The release of Halo 2 saw gamers camping outside of retail stores in a manner similar to Star Wars fans camping out in front of movie theaters.
Or just
No way.
angry parents on a Black Friday.
Yeah.
Sip of beer.
The event drew unprecedented media attention for a video game. Halo 2 would become the highest grossing release day product in the history of the entire entertainment industry, feverishly looking at numbers.
Oh, come on!
Why are you looking at me?
Seriously?
You're staring at me.
Feverishly.
Do you think he does this because I'm in the room?
I think so. Nicole, don't look my way for a minute.
feverishly looking at numbers above 125 million upon launch. The game featured music by Breaking Benjamin
Awesome.
and Nine Inch Nails.
Great band.
It also featured innovative matchmaking over Xbox Live and solidified
Oh,
the
it
network's
solidified, all right.
foothold in the world of video gaming.
Oh my gosh. It's hot in here.
I know.
So hot.
I haven't been this hot and bothered since I don't know when.
Nicole's rethinking her choice of being on an all-guy show.
I'm fine.
The Xbox had made its mark on the
She's the only
battlefield.
one not salivating.
I know.
Guess I hear this all the time. It's lost its luster.
Oh no.
Oh,
We're gonna have to come
over
up-
for us.
I know. New shtick is needed. The Xbox had made its
I
mark.
have plenty of shtick.
I don't want to hear about your shtick. I hear about it enough in this script.
Is that an RPG also?
I don't know, but all my pages are sticking together. The
It's from his
Xbox.
shtick.
I know. When he handed it to me with two fingers held on the corner for
I
some
told
reason.
you this is why double-sided print wasn't a good idea.
Woo! The Xbox had made its mark on the battlefield and it started something monumentous.
Monumentous?
I'm trying to say it.
Momentous.
I am trying so hard to say that word. Trying so hard. So we'll skip it. In the war-torn game land of Gametopia. Do not spit your beer on me. Why are you freaking out over there? You're scaring me. Its only failing might have been its late start. This was something Microsoft was determined to fix.
All my beer dripped out of my mouth.
I know, I was afraid. I don't think you should sit next to me anymore.
Dale's dying.
November 2005. Microsoft brought on the 7th generation of video game consoles with the release of its Xbox 360, introducing the great feature, the Ring of Death. The Xbox 360, still the only American contender on the battleground, would fare no better than its predecessor in the home stadium of its enemies, Nintendo and Sony. What does that mean? In the home
Nobody
stadium of
knows.
its enemies.
They're all Japanese developers. Keep reading the next sentence.
Yeah.
But why are they in? They didn't
Wait a
release
minute, how
it
did
over
we
in
get to the
Japan.
6th
They did
generation?
release.
They released this in Japan to start.
Yes, because Japan was known for being very welcoming of video gaming and consoles, so they released in Japan,
Okay.
thinking like they would get an easy access to a market, and it turned out to backfire
Okay.
because the Japanese weren't a fan of the American company. I guess they were a fan of the Japanese makes like Sony and Nintendo.
Well, that makes sense. As was seen in the 6th generation, Japanese gamers still preferred the Japanese consoles. You just said that.
Yeah, that's why I told you to just read the next sentence.
But that wouldn't stop Microsoft from advancing on the dirty, dirty D-pad throne. What is going on over there? Did you record me laughing? The new Xbox console was armed with high-definition gaming resolution, the good faith of developer allies, and an improved Xbox Live Internet gaming service, and the Ring of Death. With the tremendous, unquestionable power of Xbox Live supporting it, the Ring of Death appealed to the developers and gamers alike, attracting people to its Xbox marketplace, which was filled with award-winning titles by indie developers such as Beautiful Braid and Chaotic Castle Crashers. Really? Why do you love Braid so much?
It's such a good game.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Never heard of it.
The Ring of Death would see the launch of BioWare's next mega RPG series, Mass Effect. Joining the lineup was Epic Games' gruesome Gears of War series, the remaining chapters of Lionhead's charming Fable trilogy, the surprising brilliant real-time strategy Halo Wars, and of course Halo 3.
Just so everybody is aware, whenever he says the Ring of Death, he's talking about Xbox 360.
Yes.
Why
Are
did
you sure?
call it?
Did you just look this up?
No, but
She
every
read the
time
script.
he has said the Ring of Death, it's
Yeah,
been where
he
it
kept
says.
saying it in reference to the Xbox 360.
I know.
Yes.
So why are you asking if I looked it up?
Because I feel like you wouldn't know what the Ring of Death was.
I didn't know
I'm
what it
watching
was.
him read, and I can see every time it says in the script Xbox 360, he's saying the Ring of Death.
So when you turn on your Xbox 360 console, the original ones, not the one that we have in the room,
Yeah.
it would it'd be
It's a huge
ring.
problem.
And the ring would have quadrants, basically, of lights that would identify the controllers are active, too. They'd all have to be green, though, for the Xbox to be on.
Now I get it.
Now, if the ring turns red, it reflects that there's an error code with the Xbox 360. Microsoft was fixing them under warranty for a while, but it was a notorious problem for them.
It was a huge problem. It was terrible.
A lot of it was because of overheating. The consoles would be overheating.
It was bad.
Which is
doesn't
why-
happen with Sony.
Which is why the Xbox One, half of it's all fan.
Doesn't happen with Apple's either. Just saying. Apple phones never
Well,
spontaneously
Apple didn't make a
combust.
video gaming console.
No, but we're talking about overheating.
But if Apple made a video gaming console, the console would cost $10,000.
Yes.
Would not come with any controllers or cords or games.
Or
They wouldn't
triggers.
accept any third-party developers
No.
because they want to control everything
So what
you
you're
do.
saying is Apple's Nintendo.
Essentially, right? That's basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Wii, it looks like it could be built by by Apple, right?
It does.
It's about the size of what, the iPhone X or whatever right now?
Except Apple would be just a touch worse.
Sony, though, wasn't about to sit this fight out. After a year of watching Microsoft making a bold grab from its throne, Sony fought back in 2006 with the PlayStation 3. Armed with a font reminiscent of Sony's popular Spider-Man film franchise.
What? Really?
And cutting-edge
That's
Blu-ray
true.
movie technology.
When the PS3 came out, like the internet was a buzz with how they took the
The
Spider-Man
internet was a
font.
buzz with this.
It was a buzz.
This is the
with
first
news.
time I'm hearing
Are you?
this.
No, you're nuts.
I don't know why this isn't in the script, but right now, using a buzz and the internet right now, I feel like this is information that would have been pertinent to this script.
Pertinent.
We're including it right now.
Yeah, ad-libbing.
Ad-libbed. Armed with a font reminiscent of Sony's popular Spider-Man film franchise and
All two films.
cutting-edge Blu-ray movie technology, the PS3 was a bewildering piece of hardware. The introduction of the Blu-ray HD format
Nuts.
forced the PS3 to wear a hefty price tag, but it was also the new format's flagship player. Blu-ray brought on an entirely different conflict as well, the battle for HD.
Nuts.
While Microsoft and various film studios backed the HD DVD format,
Nuts.
Sony's support of the new Blu-ray technology with the out-of-the-box PS3 as opposed to the Xbox 360 separate HD DVD peripheral.
Nuts.
What are you doing?
Well, I mean, it works better with CD, but now we've moved into DVD, so the joke is lost, but I still want to put it in there.
You're just peppering nuts throughout everything.
Stop saying that! Do not say that out loud!
That's what you're doing.
All right, I'll stop. Go ahead.
Nuts.
Sony's support of the new Blu-ray technology with the out-of-the-box PS3 helped cement Blu-ray's place as the successor to DVDs. The PS3 also enjoyed its share of top-tier titles, ranging from the continuation of the epic God of War series.
Good
Never
game.
played it.
Oh, that's a good game. You never played that game?
I've never played it.
Oh, that's a really good game. You get to have sex in it.
Oh.
You guys have sex in The Sims.
You can have sex in Mass Effect.
Sex in the Sims isn't like Sex at God of War.
What's,
They don't compare.
What's that pirate movie? Because there was definitely sex in that game.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, it was not that one.
Pirates of Penzance?
The,
Assassin's Creed?
Sea of
No,
Thieves.
it was one of the ones that
Assassin's
you were talking
Creed
about.
Black
Is that about
Flag?
Blackbeard?
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Okay, that one.
I
Yeah,
love that
definitely
band.
have sex
I think
in
they're
that.
a very underappreciated punk band, and they should be considered one of the greatest punk bands of all time.
No, they influenced a lot of people.
I agree.
Yeah.
Where was I? The PS3 also enjoyed its share of top-tier titles ranging from the continuation of the epic God of War series,
Never played it.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry,
Loved it.
Metal Gear Solid,
Never played it.
and Square Enix's Final Fantasy.
Only played 7.
I'm sorry, but the early Final Fantasies were way better than the late Final
Yeah.
Fantasies. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I'm going with it.
I think that is popular opinion.
Is it popular opinion?
I think so.
I actually did enjoy the Final Fantasy series. I haven't played the past few that have come out, but I really did enjoy the Final Fantasy series.
When they started integrating like weird space things, I
As soon as I went to Rainbow Road, I was done.
Rainbow Road.
This time, Sony was also determined to fight Microsoft's dominance on online gaming with the launch of its own online service for developers and gamers, PlayStation Network.
Oh, it's my turn. Yes. Though an admirable effort and a worthy successor to the PS2, the PS3 could not match the plethora of advantages brandished by the Xbox 360. Its early lead in the battlefield had already brought Microsoft within groping... Seriously?
What did you write this? What was going on?
What is groping distance?
This?
Wow, okay. Normally I don't break it mid-sentence, but this one I'm
Look,
like...
Nicole is out of groping distance.
What?
No,
Faraz is not out of groping
No,
distance.
she's not.
Yes, I am.
Faraz, guess what?
All my beers
Your
seeped out of my
girlfriend's in
mouth
groping
again.
distance.
Oh my god.
I'm like Harvey Firestein, right? Or no, Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Firestein.
Hashtag me too.
Firestein.
No.
Who uses groping distance in any type of sentence?
An
Hold on,
English
it gets
major.
Its early lead in the battlefield had already brought Microsoft within groping distance of the glorious D-pad throne. Wow.
Groping distance.
Wow. I'm going to grope the D-pad after this.
Oh my god.
This is too much.
I know. Here, let me fan you.
Wait. Just read the next sentence.
I'm trying not to. Microsoft's wealth of developers and exclusive titles maintained its dominance. Xbox hate you.
What's your safe word?
Redundant. My safe word is redundant.
My safe word is groping distance.
All right. I'm ready now.
That's what she said.
I hope she would. Xbox Live was more robust. And, as opportunist hackers and unfortunate gamers would find, more secure than the fledgling PlayStation Network.
Is there fortunate gamers as well, or just unfortunate gamers?
Those Xbox gamers that never got their credit cards hacked and stolen because they weren't PlayStation Network users.
Those are the fortunate gamers.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine. Microsoft had seized the throne, and the kingdom of Gametopia was about to be returned to the West. Then, barely a week after Sony's debut of the PS3, and more than a year after the launch of the Xbox 360, Nintendo collected the shards of its devastated reputation and stepped back into the skirmish, bearing to the world its Wii.
No, you did not write that. You did write that. Oh my god.
I've given up on this.
And in all this, all I'm going to say is I'm really proud of myself that I didn't laugh as I read that.
Last time I bared my Wii, I went to
Bearing
jail.
to the world.
The last time I
Wii.
bared my Wii, I got a restraining order.
Were you doing all of this on purpose? Was this your intention?
You had to write "bearing to the world its Wii" on purpose. You had to write that.
He's choking on his Wii right now.
Bearing to the world its Wii. Look, world! Do not throw up on me. You okay?
And all I've learned from this is the Wii was too much for Faraz to handle.
I couldn't breathe.
As soon as the Wii was bared, Faraz started choking.
Imagine what it'll be like when we get to the Switch.
Oh, jeez.
Like the GameCube before it, the Nintendo Wii wielded no DVD or movie playback abilities.
It didn't wield the D?
It couldn't even be bothered to render HD visuals.
Exclamation mark.
The Wii was a puny, unassuming little thing paired with small controllers.
That's not very nice. That is not very nice. It's not what you do with the Wii and the nunchucks. That's how you use it. It's not the size. It's how you use your nunchucks.
I'm dying here. Listen to this.
Oh my god.
You wrote this!
I'm dying.
All right, I'm going back to the beginning.
No, please don't.
No,
Oh my god. Please don't.
Burying the
puny?
world, it's Wii.
Unassuming little thing paired with small controller sticks and something Nintendo boldly called nunchucks. Though the Wii, like all Nintendo consoles since the N64, was largely supported mainly by Nintendo first-party titles, the lack of third-party developers was somehow less daunting this time around.
I need to collect myself.
Okay.
Much like
collect
Nintendo
yourself.
did. Oh my god.
Do you need me to read for you? Because
I'm a total wreck. Hold on.
you
I got
give
this.
yourself a lot. I can read the next thing so you can collect yourself. Seriously, I'm done reading after this. So
Oh my god. Alright. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Sure? Are your puny nunchucks in place?
Oh, Jesus
Come on, you unassuming little thing. I want to hear what you have to say.
Bear to the world, your Wii.
Yes. And come forth, Faraz, for you someday will have a last name.
Not only was the Wii armed with nostalgia-inducing names of Mario, Zelda, and Metroid, but Nintendo equipped the console with industry-rocking motion technology, epitomized by Wii Sports and Wii Fit. While the console was considered gimmicky, it was a no-frills affair, intended to appeal to the mainstream public at large.
I hated Wii Fit.
The absence of HD technology...
It was a big surfboard you stood on, and the games never worked right. I did better than what the game said I was doing, and it called me obese.
Jesus Christ, that's rude.
I may be a little chunky, but I'm not obese.
But Nintendo has a reputation for being rude, right?
I guess.
I don't know.
I'm not-
You're the one who's supposed to tell us.
I'm not Japanese fit, but I'm not obese.
The Xbox is more forgiving. It's American. The
I hated
absence,
that bubble
But
game.
don't worry, the PlayStation would show you everything in high definition.
Even my obesity.
Yes.
Oh god. The absence of HD allowed Nintendo to sell the device at very competitive prices and saw Nintendo earn a profit on every unit sold right from the start, something that neither of its enemies could claim.
It's
Neither?
neither. It's neither.
I thought it was neither.
Neither.
It goes both ways.
You say neither. I say neither.
Sony had Blu-ray with the PS3.
Let's call the whole thing
Microsoft
off.
dominated the world of multiplayer with Xbox Live, yet neither were
Neither.
prepared.
It's neither.
It could be either.
Yet neither
But either.
It could be either of the two.
were prepared for the intruding shock of Nintendo's little white teeth.
Wait. Neither were prepared for the intruding shock of Nintendo's little white Wii.
That's what my wife said to me last night.
Little. What were you thinking writing this?
Hey, what were you drinking while you wrote this? Because I would love to rate it on my 0 to 6 scale.
This script, when it goes on the Patreon page, I'm going to have to charge $25, and it's going to have a waiver that you have to be 18 or over to read it.
I think we should print out some that we can send autographed by Faraz.
Yes. We could do it as a contest.
So erotic. The script is so erotic. It's so wrong.
Get your erotic game pro by Faraz.
The Wii surged in sales numbers,
Oh, it surged.
Oh,
becoming a huge hit at adult get-togethers
oh my God. Swingers?
and children's parties alike.
Oh, that's not right.
Not okay.
So not right.
That's not okay.
The advent of motion gaming had
This is
taken
just taking a wrong turn somewhere.
The advent of motion gaming had taken the market by surprise.
Quite like where this script is going has taken me by surprise.
And Nintendo's relishing the rewards.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
While third-party developers struggled to sell titles for the complicated architecture, Nintendo's in-house games continued to fill the old king's coffers, which swelled even more with the Wii's virtual console,
Too easy.
Nintendo's online marketplace, wherein gamers could purchase and play classic Nintendo titles originally released on the company's former consoles. Sony and Microsoft could not ignore this. Sony responded with the PlayStation Move,
Terrible.
a motion controller for the PS3, blatantly reminiscent of the
Blatantly.
You blatantly said that wrong.
blatantly reminiscent of the Wiimote motion controller. The device even interacted with the PS3 console in a manner almost identical to a Wiimote interfacing with a Wii. Not to be left out,
Still too easy.
Microsoft also developed its own motion peripheral, the Kinect.
Unlike the competition, the Kinect peripheral was a camera-only system that didn't require controllers. You are the controller! ! Its slogan proudly proclaimed. So long as the camera sensors could see and hear you, you yourself were the character on Kinect-supported games. This wasn't just a copy job like Sony's Move. Copy job. This was a clear statement to Nintendo from Microsoft, the new ruler of Gametopia. I don't have you to copy your strategy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If only someone had edited this.
I missed that completely.
I don't have you to copy your strategy. I can make it better.
This was a clear statement to Nintendo from Microsoft in caveman speak. I don't have you to copy strategy. I can make it better. And sure enough, Kinect Sports was arguably just as fun and effective, if not indeed
Me like Kinect Sports.
more so than Wii Sports. I never played Kinect Sports.
Me do more than
It was
just
fun.
bowling.
It was really good. Bowling was great.
But we played the hell out of Wii Sports. Kinect games are also surprisingly innovative and engrossing, as the absence of a controller was nothing shy of jaw-dropping. I found the Kinect games to be lackluster and boring.
Some of them were really cool.
I don't remember.
I used a lot of the exercise ones. And the martial arts ones.
Okay.
Okay, Chuck Norris.
But the Wii was cheap. Cheap to make, cheap to buy. It's also hard to find, because they didn't stock enough, ever. Nintendo continued to
That
fight.
is actually like a continual Nintendo strategy, isn't it? They always undersupply the retailers.
Yeah, it's annoying. Nintendo continued to fight for its lost throne, refusing to let Microsoft move the kingdom back to the West. I thought it already went to the West.
No, it was about to until Nintendo released the Wii.
Okay. Having already squashed the PS3...
We got a little distracted there at the debut of the Wii.
Yeah, well, we're bearing our Wii to the world. Having already squashed the PS3 beneath its little heels, the Wii's only remaining challenge was the Xbox 360. It was a brutal battle, but by the end, Nintendo would see sales figures surging higher than both Microsoft and Sony combined.
Nintendo had returned to the throne it built, returned to the pinnacle of the kingdom it had saved long ago, but had lost so recently.
It went quick.
Third-party developers were issuing apologies to Nintendo for not taking the Wii seriously, for dismissing the old king out of hand. The 7th generation of home video game consoles lasted from 2005 through the start of the 8th generation in 2012, making it the longest console era in history. Riding on the unforeseen success of the mighty little Wii,
You had to throw one last one in there.
Nintendo itself would announce the beginning of the 8th generation. The empire of Mario and Zelda had struck back.
And that is the erotic fiction of Faraz.
And console wars.
Erotic Historia.
Did you write the fishbowl facts as erotically thrilling as you did this script?
I didn't do the console.
Yes, you did.
Fishbowl. I did do the fishbowl facts.
You did do the fishbowl.
Oh, I did do the.
Wow,
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I can only imagine.
Well, let's get to the fishbowl facts.
Let JL start. He seems eager.
Oh, I'm eager, all right.
Okay, you said don't do the ones that have the cross out on that.
I want to read those.
Do those. Don't read the cross out.
That's what I'm saying.
Read the other side.
So the ones that don't have the cross out, don't read those. The ones that, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Oh, good
Yeah,
God.
see, I'm going to read this
Read
side.
the ones that aren't crossed out.
All right, go,
The
JL.
marker bled through them. Which side am I supposed to read?
The one where most of the marker is not on.
Oh, okay. In 1982, Atari was the fastest growing company in the history of U.S. business. The game discs for the Sony PlayStation were the only all-black CDs on the market and were made this way for the sole purpose of looking different and edgy.
Fishbowl facts.
Nice.
That was non-erotic.
No, that was very clean.
Well, whose fault is that?
I'm very disappointed in it.
Can somebody get me an erotic fact, please?
You're up there, lip balm.
I don't know if I have an erotic one.
We'll find out.
Though many Sony executives hated the design of the PlayStation controller, it was built to be symbolic of the 3D nature of the console and to stand apart from other controllers of the time. Sony president... Ah, damn it. JL should have read this.
Let me see. Norigo Oga.
Thank you, JL.
That sounded Cuban, not Japanese.
Norigo Oga.
Anyway, Sony president Norio Oga actually liked the controller, likening it to the controls of an airplane. The SNES sold over 49 million units during the fourth generation console war against the Sega Genesis, marking it as a clear victor of the era against Sega's 29
Is this
million
another
sold.
script or a fishbowl fact?
I don't understand. You put it together. These are two. You wrote it.
Is that two put together?
I think so.
I think you might have
Well,
two together for us.
Yeah,
I didn't separate that. I'm not the one that separates these.
Well, you didn't separate it into two different facts. You put it all together like a
Well,
paragraph.
it's two facts, apparently.
Okay. Did you finish the fact?
I guess I should reread the last fact. Basically, we know from the first fact, Sony's executives hated the PlayStation controller.
I'm so tired.
The president loved it. Anyway, the SNES sold over 49 million units during the fourth generation console war against the Sega Genesis, marking it as a clear victor against the Sega's 29 million units sold.
And that's why we call this fishbowl facts, because they're quick little facts, just like that.
I thought we were fishing for facts, but Faraz just told us a short story.
The name Sega derives from the company's original name, back when it was a manufacturer of jukeboxes and slot machines. The original name was Service Games, from which we get Sega. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the most popular. This is two again, put into one.
Why? I don't know why.
You didn't make any spaces, so we'll stop there. The original name was Service Games, from which we get Sega.
That leaves Nicole now, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm reading ahead to our emails. My fishbowl fact says the founder of Atari and the creator of Pong, Nolan Bushnell, I don't know, would go on to create Chuck E. Cheese. Bushnell was also approached by Steve Jobs with an investment opportunity in Apple, in which Jobs offered him a third of the company in exchange for a $50,000 contribution. Bushnell declined the offer, afterwards commenting on the accuracy of hindsight. Quote,
Sounds like Shark Tank.
quote, I was so smart, I said no. It's kind of fun to think about that when I'm not crying, unquote.
That was very strange.
That was sad.
He lost out on a lot of money.
It did.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
But did you know the term console war originated in the fourth generation, referring to the fierce competition between Nintendo and Sega? Sega's marketing strategy of boldly attacking competitor Nintendo was previously unheard of in Japanese business etiquette and was seen by some as inappropriate.
Much like the script we just read.
Oh, that script was very inappropriate. I don't know who wrote it.
Nintendo canceled Star Fox 2 for the SNES, fearing that it wasn't graphically competitive against the Sega Saturn and the Sony PlayStation. Many ideas from Star Fox 2 would, however, make their way into Star Fox 64 on the Nintendo successor console, the N64.
Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the most popular video game characters of all time, claiming the title to various Guinness World Records, including best-selling game on Sega systems, longest-running comic based on a video game, and best-selling retro game compilation.
Compilation.
That's what I said.
That's what I heard.
I heard compilation.
Copulation?
Both ways, kind of like neither and neither.
Neither.
What did you
I
hear,
say
Nicole?
neither.
Copulation? What did Chris say?
Compilation.
Copulation.
It's the
I
Ohio
don't even
accent.
know what you're doing after this for Oz. That just sounds dirty for Oz. Your mind is in the gutter.
Next.
The plastic casing of the Super NES had a penchant for turning yellow with age.
Just like me.
That's called jaundice, and you should go to the doctor.
Yes.
Did you know the soundtrack to Sonic the
Start again.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
None of us can talk today.
Sonic the Hedgehog is the
Because
Jewish
we
version.
had beers before we started recording.
Here we go. The soundtrack to Sonic the Hedgehog
Shonish.
3 featured music by Michael Jackson, though the King of Pop asked that his name not be included in the credits. He's actually listed as hee hee.
All right, let's rate the beer.
Okay, what are we drinking again?
8 days a week blonde ale from Southern Tier. It's described as infinitely drinkable. It's got a 4.8 ABV, so it's semi-weak. It's in that like normal range for beers, not what we usually get. I would have to say drinkability-wise, flavor-wise, I go 4.
Oh,
Yeah?
no.
It was
You
your
had to say it
favorite?
was weak. Because I'm giving it a full 6.
No, give it. I'm
But it's known that you like weak beers.
No.
Not necessarily.
Let me explain myself. Typically, I buy beers that the ABV is usually over a 6. So I buy beers that have a higher alcohol content than others. This right here, it has more flavor than alcohol, which is still a good beer,
Which I like.
but
Flavor.
given that there's 8 of them in this, because you had to buy an 8-pack to get it instead of a normal 6-pack.
Quote, 8 days a week.
Yes,
So you have
quote,
one beer
8
for
days a
every
week.
day.
Was it the same price as like a typical 6-pack? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good. So you got
Yeah.
2 extra beers.
But in one sitting, I would just find it to be a 4. I like it, but the aftertaste towards the end would probably get to me, which is why I'm saying 4.
See, now I'm getting the reputation that I like weak beers.
Yeah, that's how I always pictured you. When I picked out the mango beer today, I was thinking like, well, Chris might like this.
I
Chris,
picture
we
you
think
as bearing your weed to the world, so there.
I try not to picture anybody bearing their weed to the world, but you've made the joke yourself that you like the baby beers.
I do. But I don't want everyone else to think that.
No.
I just want to make fun of myself.
I wanted to bring an
I don't want
IPA
everyone to
this
make
week.
fun of me. Okay, you can make fun of me. I don't care.
I wanted to bring
We
an
will.
IPA this week, but given Faraz's sexually tensioned script, I went with something a little smoother because his script was a little rough around the edges. So I went with the blonde ale of 8 days a week.
It gets 6 for me mostly because of that whole aftertaste thing, which has been my complaint for a lot of beers. No aftertaste at all. Very smooth.
I have to ask again, how do you describe the aftertaste, JL?
I find the aftertaste to be a little bitter at the end. Like there's like a very distinguished, like here's a beer taste. Like you lose the smoothness of the blonde.
See, I have to ask Faraz, how do you describe our rating system?
Really, I can barely talk right now. I almost just died while we were recording this.
Well,
yeah,
just
you
do
were
your-
I lost
choking-
air for
you
like
were
a solid
choking on
60
the little
seconds.
white wee that was exposed to the world
You
earlier.
could try.
Do
Very
a condensed.
Typically,
No, don't go in what you think. Just do the.
what do you mean? Don't go
What
by
is the
thing.
system?
Faraz,
Hold on,
Brisk
wait.
this, cut it short.
Brisk.
All right, so typically we do a 6-pack rating system based on how much you could drink out of a 6-pack. Yes, is that
Yeah.
still
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
But this is an 8-pack.
So angry
Oh.
when he
But
does
this
it.
is an 8-pack.
Fair.
It
So
doesn't matter.
what do you mean? It doesn't matter?
Pretend it's
of
a
course it
6-pack.
matters. This is an 8-pack now. This is drinkability of 8, not 6, which makes even less sense.
Because
Okay.
if that's the case, then it's a 6 out of an 8 for me.
When he brought the dragon beer, I can't remember the name of it. It was in a 4-pack, but we didn't change it.
Yeah,
it was still
exactly.
6. It's always going to be
Isn't that
6.
silly if
always
you're
gonna
talking
be
about how
6.
much you could drink out of the pack? Because it doesn't come in a
Oh,
6-pack.
my
He brought a pack and a half.
I brought extra because I knew Chris was going to like it.
Fine.
Anyway,
Then,
what
as
do
you
you
all
rate
heard, this is how we rate the beers.
Out of 6.
Out of 6.
So what's your rating?
Which is drinkability out of 6. It's a very smooth beer, which is why I did tell JL you should bring the blonde ale. It's very
His
smooth.
exact reasoning for me to bring the blonde ale was because he told me he wrote a long, drawn-out script that Chris would need a nice, smooth beer for to get through this script for.
Yes, I did say
Good call.
It is actually really smooth. I enjoyed it a lot. I get some of that aftertaste that JL mentioned, that bitterness all of a sudden strikes your palate at the very end.
See, he only got that in the first couple sips and it went away.
But the overall composure of the beer is very smooth, so I have to give it a 5 out of 6.
Wow. Nicole?
I would also give it a 5. I can't explain what it is that's keeping me from giving it a 6. But
Wow, I don't think I've ever had the lowest rating.
I know, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't like it.
No, I do like it. It's just the aftertaste, and I think that's what would keep me from drinking more than 4.
See, you got an aftertaste when I first took first couple sips, but then it went away. It disappeared for me. It's probably after I started bearing my weed to the world that I didn't care anymore.
yeah, that's
Once you
usually
bear
when
your
you
weed
start.
to the world, you never care after that ever
That's
again.
when you usually stop caring. We got a couple of emails.
Yay!
Are they about
If-
bearing weeds to the world?
No, they're not. If anybody would like to email us, our email address is podcast42show@gmail.com. Make sure to put the numbers 42 when you put podcast42show@gmail.com. Our first one is from somebody that's called I Like Pie. And it says Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming. Anyone
Yes.
play the original? Anyone going to play the sequel? It's my favorite game of all time.
Never
Faraz
played it.
seems to be interested in this topic.
Red Dead Redemption is a
gaming
great
person.
game.
What is
A
it
lot
about?
of these games have come out since Lex was born, and I have not had a lot of time to play video games.
Red Dead? That was old Xbox 360. I don't remember what year that was.
You need to get him on board. You give him the controller, and you tell him he's playing, but you play.
Bella plays.
Does she? I've never seen her.
No, not Red Dead
Yeah.
Redemption, but she plays Xbox.
I haven't
game.
been able
I've been
to
in
play
the
a lot
same
of.
boat.
Yeah, I
Wii
haven't been
games.
able to play a lot of games because he's 4, so it's tough to play games a lot of times. So my gaming has gone
So it's
down
just
a lot.
It's just because of child, not
Yeah.
because you're not a
No,
gamer.
not because I'm not interested or anything like that. I'd love to play more. I just can't seem to find time.
I agree with that. I have just a backlog of video games that I own, but I haven't played.
Right, and I have a few that I purchased that I'm like, ooh, I want to play this. Ooh, I want to play this. And I just, every time I think I have time,
Yeah.
Right.
Something
it's
comes up.
monopolized by the child.
It took me, with school and children and everything, it took me 2 years to finish Breath of the Wild, and I still haven't even finished The Witcher
It's been
3.
out that long, really?
Is it not?
I didn't think it had.
Wait, hold
I
on.
don't
No.
know.
It was
I don't know.
last spring.
Was it?
Right? Last spring,
Maybe
I
it
think
just
came out?
feels that long because it's taking longer to play than what it usually does.
Yeah, it's a great game. I finally just finished it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Mass Effect Andromeda, I still haven't finished.
So
Assassin's Creed Syndicate I know that took me 2 years.
What was the last Batman Arkham game?
Arkham Knight,
I feel like Arkham City and
Arkham Asylum?
Arkham Asylum, I finished a lot quicker than I finished Arkham Knight.
Because Arkham Knight's terrible with the Batmobile. It's absolutely
But
atrocious.
The timing and everything, like, it was just... That's how I grade it because, like, I was able to play those, and then Lex was born.
Hey guys, I have a question.
It took
What
a while.
console were those games on?
I played mine on the PlayStation.
I played mine on the Arkham. The majority of the Arkham games I played were on the Xbox 360. Currently on the Xbox One.
You
I
mean
did
there
mine
were
on
some games
PlayStation
that were
3.
released on both consoles?
Oh yeah,
Most games
Oh, yeah.
usually are multi-platform.
I don't know. That's not
Nintendo's
anything that we
usually the
talked
one left
about.
out.
Yeah,
in this
Nintendo's the one
entire-
left out.
We did not talk about
That is true.
cross-platform games.
You
There
got
wasn't
a
enough
point.
room in the
Like
script for me to write
Battlefront.
more.
Star
Well,
Wars Battlefront.
that's-
You can play it on PlayStation or Xbox.
But not the Wii Switch, the Nintendo Switch.
I have,
That's
I have
why-
a question, Nicole.
Yes, sir.
Do you think we adequately answered I Like Pie's email? No.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming. Anyone play the original? Anyone going to play the sequel? It's my favorite game of all time. Have you played the original, Faraz?
I have. It is a really good game.
Are you going to play the sequel?
Probably when it comes down in price. I don't buy games at $60. I feel like that's
But it's still a
overpriced.
yes.
JL, have you played the original Red Dead Redemption 2? Or Red Dead Redemption, I'm sorry. Are you going to play the sequel?
Not until I play the original.
Okay. Chris,
You could probably play the sequel without playing
have
the
you
original.
played the
But I'd
original?
rather play the
We
original.
follow a
first
narrative,
before
Chris. There's
Yes.
a story involved. That's what makes Red Dead Redemption such a good game. There's a
I
whole
think
narrative.
you could do it.
And-
Yes and yes. I plan on playing the second, and I played the first. It is a really good game.
And everybody sitting here that knows me well enough knows I would rather play the original before I go to a sequel. So,
Yeah, I'm just saying that you probably could go 2 without.
I'm
playing
sure I
one.
probably could, but I'd rather play the original to get a feel for it
It's
and
like you
see
could
where the
go-
story's going, because I'm sure there are Easter eggs in it that I would like to get.
Like you go Fallout 4 and never play Fallout 3.
I never
There's-
played
Or any of the Final Fantasies. None of them
Yeah.
are connected.
Or you could read the book before you see the movie.
Never.
Yeah, because
No, that actually ruins movies for me. Like, I read Revenge of the Sith before I saw the movie, and I love the author Matthew Stover.
Yeah.
And
The
he
movie
actually got permission
did
by
not.
George Lucas to rewrite parts of the dialogue, because he's a great author. George Lucas is not, at least in his later years. And his dialogue for Revenge of the Sith,
How
Matt
dare you.
Stover's, was phenomenal.
You know what actually is better is to see the movie and then read the book.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like then it's like you see the movie and then the book gives you bonus material as
Exactly.
opposed to the book giving you everything and the movie leaving out everything.
Yeah, and the movie
I
disappointed
did that
you
with
9 out of
Jaws.
10 times.
At the end of it, I realized that Quint and the shark were really friends.
Anyway, our second email to podcast42show@gmail.com is from Steve the Haiku Master. Now, I would like to say, Steve, while I appreciate your enthusiasm about being a haiku master,
I think he's doing a great job.
What is
If-
haiku?
a haiku is a poem that follows a certain form where the sentences are supposed to be 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then
Pronounced
5 syllables.
Yes.
So 575 is the standard for a haiku. Steve, the haiku master, however, did not seem to follow this.
Are you sure?
I am sure. We will go over this now
Okay.
in depth.
Either way, Steve the Haiku Master did a phenomenal job, because I read this haiku and I really enjoy it.
It sounds great, but it just is not a haiku.
I don't know what it is.
roll
Can I
off
hear
the
it?
tongue very well.
Okay. So 575 is supposed to be the standard for a haiku,
But
right?
does it not roll off the tongue?
Maybe he's Steve the haiku interpreter.
Podcast 42 fun.
You're reading it like a robot.
6. Well, because it's for the syllables. I will read it.
I would rather read
Okay.
it like fun before we start
Fine.
analyzing the
Fine.
syllables.
I will read it without the syllables first. Podcast 42 fun. Fishbowl facts, trivia, squirrel. Faraz will say A. Then there's the second one. JL brings the beer. Chris does not like it this time. Nicole reads the email. So the first one is 685. Podcast 42 fun 6. Fishbowl facts, trivia, squirrel.
Jeez, I wouldn't want to write an email to this show if Nicole's just going to criticize
podcast
everything.
42
she's
fun.
criticizing our poor
42
emailer
is
right here.
3 syllables.
42.
What did poor Haiku
Yes.
Master Steve do to you?
42. I guess so. Okay.
This poor guy.
Poor Steve. you tried so hard.
Haiku Master Steve is never going to write another haiku to
I
you
know.
because
That's a-
you totally...
Because
haiku
of-
Master Steve does not know how to write haikus. Is
Because
why he can't
he
use
does.
it.
But maybe he was drunk off Dayquil like your boyfriend was last week when we recorded.
It's
Well,
Nicole
Ellen
the
Lucas.
haiku destroyer versus Steve the haiku master.
Okay.
Seriously.
Fishbowl
Wow,
facts,
Stop.
trivia.
You're treating him like he's the Glass Joe
squirrel.
of emailers.
That's 8.
I feel very bad for Steve right now.
I know.
I do too.
Faraz
Steve, I appreciate your email
will
and
say
your haiku.
A. Now, at least At least,
Steve, I think we all appreciate you, even if Nicole doesn't.
at least
Nicole's being overcritical.
when they said Faraz will say A, they accounted for 2 syllables.
Yeah, because
for
nobody knows
Faraz.
that Faraz is 2 syllables because we never know what his name really is because all he goes is A.
Faraz is 2 syllables, and he actually got that line correct. The next line is also correct.
Actually, Jesus.
And
She's
that
got
is,
you can't see it, but she's got a red pen out and she's
Do you have a
marking
degree
it.
in English?
I took creative writing.
How many-
You took creative writing?
Yes.
How many scripts have you written for this show?
I am working on one of them. How many have you written for this show? I don't want to hear that.
You don't want me to write a script for this show.
Uh-oh, script off.
JL
Do you really want me to
brings
write a script for
the
this show?
beer.
That could be a live show. We can do a script for Nicole and one from JL.
You know
No,
what?
it would not be good because... No.
We should get Steve the haiku master on
Anyway,
versus Nicole the haiku destroyer.
I have to finish. JL brings the beer. Chris does not like it this time. That one was fairly easy for you to know. But 7 is fine.
Why are you being so mean to Steve?
It's the last line of this haiku. You almost had it perfect.
You're talking to Steve like he's sitting here, and he's just rude and degrading to Steve.
Maybe Steve didn't have a lot of time. And he said, "Oh shit! I gotta put an email together."
All I know is Steve right now is holding a giant middle finger up in the air at Nicole. And Steve, I'm so sorry, but we still appreciate
I feel
those
like
of you.
Nicole's criticism here was an intruding shock, much like Nintendo's Wii was.
Wow.
Nicole reads the email is 6 syllables where it could have been 5.
I don't think so. I think Steve is from a different country,
I will
so
tell
he
you
says
this
it
much.
differently.
This poor guy, what if he's not
Wait.
from North Korea?
Oh, wait. Shut up. What are you saying?
I'm saying we
Okay.
should probably move on from this before we kill Steve's ego anymore. Because
Okay.
Steve does not deserve this, and we should just be grateful that he emailed the show.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Sorry, Nicole is too hypercritical.
Hopefully
Okay.
you escape famine.
What?
North Korea.
I don't know,
North
but
Korea.
neither or neither of us has really, like,
Okay,
you know...
I will correct these
Okay.
haikus. So, for them to be the correct 575, the 2 haikus would say,
Some of us work tomorrow. Can you do this before we have to go to work?
yes, podcast 42, fishbowl facts and trivia. Faraz will say A. JL brings the beer. Chris does not like it this time.
JL's
Nicole reads emails. There you
That's
go.
what Nicole does.
Good job.
She reads
Are
emails
we done?
and berates
Yeah,
emailers.
berates them. Jesus.
We are done. Say who you are. Give yourself a last name.
Steve, we appreciate you. JL appreciates you with his beer cooler. Next beer's on him. A.
Steve, Chris appreciates you as well.
Wait, what?
It's your turn.
What did you just say?
Just appreciate
Oh.
Steve, damn it.
With a last name.
Faraz also appreciates you,
How do you say
Steve.
your last name?
Hey!
That's not how you say your last name. Nicole the Destroyer. You're
She's running wild on the email.
You're right on the syllables. What's your name?
Nicole Fasone.
Good job.
Destroyer of haikus.
We'll
No
see you.
corrector of haikus. I didn't destroy it. Steve destroyed the haikus.
Oh, God.
Steve just wanted
Poor guy.
Poor Steve just
Bye.
wanted to say something nice. Bye.
Fairly well.
Fairly well.
Bye.
You are no longer listening to Podcast 42.
Some of the stuff you just heard might have been embellished, made up, or just plain incorrect. In other words, don't use this show to write a book report with. You will get a bad grade. Just like all the hosts.
But I'm not done yet.
JL's Beer Cooler is written and performed by Cremo. Cremo is an award-winning actor and musician. For all things Cremo, including more great music, visit Cremo.com. That's spelled Craymo. He is on Twitter at Cremo. Facebook, just search Cremo Music, and also on YouTube under, you guessed it, Cremo.